this be the most important video you watch today? I think it possibly could be. Well, for some of you anyway. I'm going to show you how to take control of your Google data. I'm going to show you what sort of data Google stores about you, all of us really, and how you can stop it storing and, in fact, deleting. Some of you might be quite surprised when you notice that there are search queries stored in your Google account from 4 years ago, possibly quite personal ones too. Okay, so most people think of Google as a search engine. In practice, it's just a record of behavior, what you search for, where you go, what you watch, and how you move between devices. This data doesn't disappear. No, far from it. It's stored, organized, and used to build a picture of your habits over time. It's all stored. Google calls this convenience, and to be fair, it works. It makes some of these apps work quite well. It makes Google search quite well. But for most users, they never look at what's being logged, and they never change the default settings, which you can, and you can stop it deleting a lot of this stuff. But the key point here is simple. Google keeps all your activity unless you actively tell it not to. Have you told it to? You probably haven't. Most of us haven't, to be honest. Now, the good news is it doesn't take hours, doesn't take lots of technical knowledge or drastic changes. It'll take about 5 to 10 minutes, including the time you listen to me waffle on about it. And you can take back control of how much data Google keeps and for how long. So I get told off in these videos for going on too much. I'm going to jump straight to the demonstration. And then after I've given you a quick overview of using the site, I'll get back to the presentation and explain more about it for you masochists who want to listen to more of my presentation. Okay, so what do we need to do? Well, we need to go to a site called What is My Activity? It's Google's internal record of how you use its services when you signed in. Includes searches, app usage on your mobile phone, location history, YouTube viewing. It's not hidden, but most people never look at it. So it's got years and years of data on most people. So let's go and have a look at it. I'll just move the presentation on and let's go to the site. So it's called myactivity.google.com. I'll put a link in the description below. And I'll give you a quick run around the site so you can see it quickly. And if you just want to follow the instructions, you can, if you want to see them in detail, you can watch the rest of the video after. Okay, so my Google activity. There's some important things you must do first here. And the most important probably is manage my activity verification. Now, if you do not do this, anybody can go on to, if you've used your Google account on a shared computer or a phone or a computer at work or in a hotel, people can access all your data and all your search data. Would you want anybody to see that? No, and I mean all. So what you have to do is go to Manage My Activity Verification and change this. This isn't on by default. Mine was off, much to my horror. You need to click on Require Extra Verification. So that means you need a password to look at people's data, Google search data on that device. Without it, they can access it. So mine's on Require. Make sure that's on. That's important. Okay. Next, to see the site properly, you're going to have to verify. So you basically going to need to log on. I'm going to log on here. Excuse me, I don't type as quickly as my children. Okay, so I'm logged on. You need there to see, so you can see some of the data come up. So let's just give me an example. I've deleted most of my stuff prior to this, but you can see here, these are things that I've used just the last hour or so. Basically, I saw a rather nice picture and I found out it was in Saskatchewan, and I looked up flights for Saskatchewan. Sorry, I'm not saying that very well. I found out they were $2,000, so then I scrapped that off my holiday list. And then I searched for a pronunciation to make sure I didn't make a complete fool of myself. And then I did some little bit of research about some of the settings, which are quite confusing in this, and I forget which are on or off. So let's go through them one by one. So remember, with Manage My Activity Verification, you need to put that on. So otherwise, anybody can access it. Turn that on. If you remember, to require extra verification. Okay. Let's look first YouTube history. Self-explanatory, really. Do you want to turn this on or off? I'm going to turn mine off. But basically, you will make your YouTube searches a bit crapper because it won't remember the stuff that you've searched for before, but you'll keep some privacy. You can also, You can also do things like include subsettings. So this is, you can include YouTube videos that you watch. So if you tick these, it saves them, basically. It's a bit counterintuitive the way it does it. So you can include your searches in YouTube. So you can unclick those. If you want YouTube to remember what you've searched on and help build a history and stuff, and you don't want to turn it off, because if you turn it off, it's kind of running blind there. You can go up here. You can manage history and delete stuff automatically. Manually. Or you can choose an auto delete option. Now this, I would recommend if you want to keep YouTube working as it is now, and you don't care about history being stored, go and change it to 3 months. YouTube doesn't need any more than that. You don't want years and years and years of YouTube searches. You could search something very embarrassing with a large glass of wine in your hand one evening, and it's going to stay in there forever. So remember that. I would say delete that for 3 months. I'm turning mine off. I'll live with the rubbish YouTube predictions, but it's up to you. So basically, you can turn it on or off, but I would definitely use an auto delete option, whichever one you use. Let's go back. Okay, the next one you need to turn off is Timeline, and I would say turn this off completely. They've changed its name. It used to be called Location History, and now they've called it Timeline. But this will store loads of things about where you go, what you've been, if you've used Google Maps and search for different stuff. It's a bit creepy. It's following you around, really. I would turn this off personally. If you want to, you can use the subsettings. So remember, if you click these, it's going to save them. If you unclick them, it's not going to save them. Again, you can tell it to turn the back off, and you can use an auto delete option there again with this. But I would really turn this off. It's not working because I've turned it off. Unless you've got some app or something that needs this a lot, I would say turn it off. But again, up to you. Let's go back, and now we'll look at web and app activity. Now, although you can again turn this on and off as you wish, it could affect lots of apps and things on your phone and stuff like that. So maybe a suggestion is make sure these are unset. If you unclick them, they're not going to save it. If you click them, it's going to include Chrome history. If you click them, it's going to remember voice and audio activity. So if you talk into your phone and put information like that, it's going to save it. It's going to save it if you include those ticks. I would say, if you're really paranoid, turn it all off, but it could make some apps not work very well. So that's up to you. If you're ultra paranoid and you don't care about breaking apps, turn it off. But if you don't click these, so don't let if they're clicked, unclick them. And then again, back to the auto delete, make sure that you auto delete stuff. There's no reason to leave this stuff for years and years and years. Even if you don't want an app to break, you don't need a search or a map search from 5 years ago. And that's what will happen. That's what will be stored in here. So if you're going to leave it on, and the web and app activity one is probably one that breaks most stuff, click it on 3 months and let it delete after 3 months. It doesn't need more than that. You'll be fine. So that's it, basically. That's the main settings. Let me go back to my presentation. If you want to just whiz off and do that, you'll be nearly there. So I'll just explain quickly. So enable two-factor authentication is important. Remember, without that two-factor authentication, then it's not enabled by default. People can go onto other devices and access this stuff. So if you share a PC or a laptop with somebody, they can see all this stuff. So think about securing shared devices and log out of family computers and stuff like that. Trusted people don't need to see all this stuff. Okay, so deleting data is reactive. Stopping it being logged in the first place is more effective, obviously. So you can find switches all across there. Pausing these doesn't break Google. It might change some of the app behavior. Timeline is the one I would turn off. It's the creepiest one. It might be called Location History on some devices if it's a bit older. Limit web and app activity, disable. So untick, include Chrome history, untick the record audio and voice storage if it's enabled, untick it. And you can check through recordings and you can check through the history there to delete the stuff you want. Timeline location history is one of the most sensitive ones. I'd disable that if I was you. Remember to use auto-delete properly. I don't think most people need more than 3 months of their data stored in Google. That's the minimum you can do, but if you're using something else, it's long enough for legitimate, if you want to recover stuff, or short enough to limit exposure if there's any sort of problems. So auto-delete is important, really. If you do go through and you want to look through your data, when you enable these settings, mine are mostly disabled, so I've not got loads of data there, and I'm not going to show you my search history anyway. But when you go through, you'll find a lot of stuff there. Look for things like health symptoms and diagnoses, financial queries, legal concerns, relationship searches, delete, political research. You can delete these sort of things selectively. Political stuff might be good to delete in the current climate, whichever standpoint you're at. Could be quite difficult to explain at the moment if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. So remember, this is just what Google is letting you do. Google still keeps loads of more information. It's important that a reality check. Everything paused and everything deleted, Google is still going to retain certain data, account metadata, security logs, aggregated or anonymized data sets. My activity controls the sort of behavioral history, not their entire back end. So it's not unique to Google. I'm not singling them out. It's how large online services operate. It's important to, when you turn all these settings off, you've reduced tracking. You're not totally invisible to Google if you use the apps. So remember that. Best practice summary, lock access, do that two-factor authentication. Importantly, pause any unnecessary tracking, activity controls, and disable any invasive data collection. These boxes might change over time. Keep checking them and see what happens. Auto-delete everything. I would say 3 months if you leave something enabled. 3 months is fine. And keep reviewing it, because they'll change settings, or Google likes to even change so you've ticked something and it becomes something else. And they do that. This is realistic, achievable privacy, really. Remember, these tools aren't altruism. Google didn't build them out of kindness. They exist because of public pressure and regulation. So if you're not using them, you're effectively opting into permanent behavioral logging. So you don't have to quit Google to take control. Just use that site and disable and use auto-delete, and you'll be in a much better place. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Apologies if it's gone on too long. And I hope my new format of showing it at the beginning means that I won't get too many complaints about this one. And anyway, if you made it to the end, well done. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.